Welcome to the evidence room, investigators. Step inside, grab a coffee, and let's get right down to business. Today, we are opening an incredibly sensitive explainer case file. Our target? Cambridge AS and A-Level Mathematics 9709. Specifically, we are going deep undercover into Topic 2.5, Integration and the Trapezium Rule. Now, listen up. We are going to approach the syllabus exactly like a lead detective analyzes a gritty, complex crime scene. We're talking systematic analysis, bulletproof logic, and a hyper-focused eye for the crucial forensic details that rookies completely miss. I see it every single exam season. You walk into that exam hall, the clock starts ticking down, and the pressure hits. I've got agents in the field, let's call them Agent Alex and Agent Sam, who represent the two most common types of candidates. Agent Alex is a procedural whiz who gathers mountains of physical evidence and raw facts, writing out endless textbook definitions, but completely fails to build a coherent case motive, zero high-level analysis. Then you have Agent Sam, fast-acting, adrenaline-fueled Sam. Sam jumps to immediate conclusions, punches numbers into a calculator, and writes down a final answer, completely skipping the forensic confirmation steps and totally missing the command word constraints. Today, we are going to train you to be the lead detective. We are going to build a completely bulletproof case. So why are we prioritizing this specific mathematical target right now? Why are we dedicating an entire investigation to it? Because as our case sources highlight, this single topic accounts for a massive 15% of your total examination marks. Now, I want you to really think about the sheer weight of that payload. 15% is not just a minor deduction, it's the entire motive of the case. That 15% is the defining factor between grade boundaries. It's the difference between an A star and a B. If you don't have the mechanics of the trapezium rule mathematically locked down, if your evidence chain has even a single weak link, you are leaving an enormous amount of points on the table. We cannot let that happen. Here is our tactical plan to secure those marks. We're going to move through the investigation briefing, establish our standard operating procedures, step into the evidence room, conduct a full autopsy of failed answers, and finally close the case. Section 1, the investigation briefing. Let's look at the core concepts. This is Act 1 of our investigation, re-examining the forensic evidence. This is where we uncover the core conceptual principles that Cambridge examiners are actively hunting for when they audit your paper. We aren't just looking at the surface-level math here. We are digging deep into the fundamental cognitive domains of knowledge, application, and analysis. Look very closely at this mandate straight from the official source material. It explicitly states that top-performing students exhibit conceptual understanding transferable to unfamiliar contexts. What does that mean for you? It means standard tracking and rote memorization are entirely useless here. Examiners want to see you take your conceptual mastery and apply it to a totally alien problem context. It's the difference between a shallow descriptive statement and a high-value evaluative argument. A descriptive statement is just plugging numbers into the trapezium rule formula. An evaluative argument is proving mathematically why your calculated area is an overestimate or an underestimate based on the convexity of the curve. You have to understand the mathematical mechanics well enough to adapt them when the examiners throw a complex curveball scenario your way. To achieve that high-level transferability, your theoretical architecture must be utterly rock solid. It rests on three non-negotiable pillars: precise definitions, clear causal relationships, and referencing crucial cross-topic connections. This is where rookies contaminate the crime scene. They misinterpret an examiner's command word, which acts exactly like a fingerprint match error. If the question commands you to show that, and you just state the final answer, the judge throws out your entire case. Instantly. Nil marks. Examiners note in their official reports that candidates who explicitly show how integration connects with other areas of the syllabus, like coordinate geometry or kinematics, achieve significantly higher marks. It is all about building a tightly connected web of mathematical evidence that cannot be broken under cross-examination. Section 2, Standard Operating Procedures. Let's lock in your technical methodology. Welcome to Act 2, the peer interrogation debate. This is the exact technical methodology required to process a trapezium rule problem without making fatal structural errors. Think of this as your mathematical forensic toolkit. Here is your procedural framework. This is a standardized sequence required for systematic processing that you must follow in this exact order. Now picture Agent Alex and Agent Sam at the evidence table trying to stitch together an unassailable model response. Alex wants to overload the first step, dumping long blocks of textbook definitions about integration onto the page. Sam is fighting to skip straight to step 3, trying to build a direct analytical logic string to secure the high-tier marking bands before the case clock runs out. But I have to step in and stop them both. You have to follow the sequence.
First, identify the key elements of the problem. Second, apply the relevant integration principles. Third, execute your analysis with clear step-by-step working. Fourth, verify your results. And fifth, present the final answer in the appropriate format. If you let Sam skip step 2 or let Alex get bogged down in step 1, you compromise the integrity of the entire solution. I challenge you right now to invent your own memory hack using the first letters of this sequence. Identify, apply, execute, verify, present. IAEVP. Write it down. Lock this acronym into your mind right now. When you are sitting in that exam hall feeling the pressure and the clock is relentlessly ticking down, falling back on a memorized standard operating procedure is exactly what will keep your mathematical logic on track. You rewrite your thesis lines multiple times live in your head, adjusting your approach to perfectly match the examiner's core parameters, all guided by those 5 letters.
Section 3. The evidence room. It's time for data interpretation.
In Cambridge papers, you aren't just a human calculator. You are often asked to critically interpret data to crack the case. Data interpretation is absolutely critical. You must precisely extract clues, the correct limits, the exact width of the intervals, the corresponding y values, from the texts and tables provided. Then you need to interpret the complex relationships within the function. Finally, you have to draw purely evidence-based conclusions. There is zero room for guessing in this room. Every single claim you make on that paper must be backed by the mathematical evidence you've meticulously extracted.
Case file freeze before we reveal this top band paragraph structure to help you clear your upcoming Cambridge sessions. Make sure your intelligence feed is entirely secure. Take a second right now to subscribe to Ace the Exams, that's at Ace the Exams, and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly forensic exam updates. Whether you are cracking cases at IGCSE, O levels, or ASNA levels, you need this intel. Okay, let's get back to the interrogation room. Sometimes your evidence links will collapse under cross-examination mid-problem. When you are deep into problem solving, utilize this structural framework, the math equivalent of a Peel matrix. First, identify the given information. Then, break the problem down into logical steps. Solve it systematically. And here's a massive one. Check your logic for reasonableness. Does the area under the curve you just calculated actually make logical sense based on a quick visual sketch? You must always systemically check your work to ensure your data anchors flawlessly to your analysis. If a question demands comparative analysis, for example, comparing your trapezium rule approximation to an exact integrated value, you must identify both similarities and differences. You need to use proper comparative connectives, back every single claim with hard mathematical evidence, and draw relative conclusions about their accuracy. Was it an overestimate? Why? Because the curve is concave upwards. That is the kind of relative conclusion that locks in the highest marks. Section 4. Autopsy of failed answers. Let's look at the examiner insights. Welcome to Act 4, the interactive viewer evidence room. Now for the most critical part of our investigation, the autopsy of failed answers. We are pulling this raw intelligence directly from the official Cambridge Principal Examiner reports. These are the exact documented pitfalls that tripped up the candidates who sat in that chair before you. Challenge number 1 for you right now, the visual clue scan. Imagine a complex source data chart on the board right now. You have 60 seconds ticking down. What are you looking for? You are looking for the exact intervals needed for the trapezium rule. But here is the biggest red flag from the examiners, a complete and total failure to show the visual chain of evidence. You're working. The examiners are practically begging candidates to write out their steps. If you just punch numbers into your calculator in the dark and write down a final numerical answer, you are walking straight into a trap. Let's move to challenge 2. Identify the counterfeit answer. Notice the threat visualized here. Relying only on a final answer, like the counterfeit response on the left, is incredibly high risk. It's a house of cards. One wrong button press on your calculator and the whole thing collapses into 0 marks. On the right, we have the bulletproof method mark strategy. Never, ever just write the final answer. Even if your final calculation is entirely wrong because you dropped a negative sign or misread a digit, the process marks awarded for clearly displaying your mathematical method can literally save your grade. You isolate the discrepancies. You show the examiner your exact logic live on the page. Show your work, secure the method marks. Let's dig deeper into the autopsy. The principal examiner reports highlight 3 specific, highly fatal warnings. 1. Candidates bleed marks by confusing cause and effect, using degrees instead of radians in a calculus problem, or misidentifying the upper and lower bounds. 2. Forgetting to check format and presentation. And 3.
giving generic, textbook answers instead of tailoring their mathematical response to the specific context of the given case file. You cannot just regurgitate a formula. You have to adapt your knowledge to the specific parameters of the crime scene in front of you.
Remember, the presentation of your evidence follows strict conventions. You must lock down your headings, use precise and accurate mathematical terminology, apply the appropriate formats like significant figures or exact values depending on the command words, and provide clear annotations. If your exam paper is a messy, unorganized brain dump with scribbles connecting random thoughts, you will not pass the examiner's audit. Clear presentation on the page is a direct hallmark of clear, disciplined mathematical thinking.
Section 5, Closing the Case. Time for your final exam strategy.
This is Act 5. Alex and Sam have finally compiled their high-scoring text blocks, and we are looking at a 100% case resolution score. Let's distill this entire session down into 3 universal rules to guarantee maximum marks on your next Cambridge paper, the final evidence audit. First, the clock budget allocation. Respect the massive 15% weight of the integration and trapezium rule topic and budget your time accordingly. Second, the 3-step question scan. Decode the problem and master your IAEVP procedural sequence to keep your analytical logic flawless under pressure. And third, the review checklist. Always deploy the method mark strategy by displaying your entire unbroken chain of working. I'm going to leave you with this provocative question before you head back out into the field to study. Pull out your last practice paper and look at it objectively. Are your analytical evidence chains truly strong enough to secure every single available method mark? If the examiner puts your paper under a microscope, does the logic hold up or does it fall apart? If it falls apart, you know exactly where to start your revision today. Make sure your intelligence feed is fully secure for your upcoming exams. Subscribe to Ace the Exams right now. Click that notification bell so you get immediate access to our weekly grade masterclasses. And before you leave the evidence room, drop a comment below sharing exactly which Cambridge subject and level, IGCSE, O, AS, or A level, you are preparing to conquer next. Now get out there and go interrogate those past papers. Case closed.